morning, Kennedy Dragons. Glad that you guys are here. Today is Tuesday. It's November 30th. It is the last day of November. Tomorrow is going to be December. Can you believe it? We're almost done with this year. Crazy. Today is the 73rd day of school. I'm Mr. Butcher. It's my job to keep you guys safe so that you guys can show us how excellent you can be. Hopefully you've left your average at home or on the bus and you're ready to have a respectful and responsible day. Speaking of responsible means doing your job with a smile on your face and giving perfect effort. One of our first jobs to do so that we can show responsible is to be ready to show respect for the rights that we have in this country or at the school. We do this by daily saying the Pledge of Allegiance, our school pledge, as well as doing our moment of silence. When we do our pledge, we want to stop what we're doing, stand up tall, put our hand over our hearts like this, say the pledge loudly, clearly, and with pride. We're 73 days in. You should know how to do it. So let's stand right now to do our pledge. Remain standing for our Kennedy School Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the Kennedy School Pledge. I pledge myself as a Kennedy Dragon to be ready for the day ahead of me. I will be respectful of myself, my teachers, and all others I meet throughout the day. I promise to be responsible for myself, my actions, and my learning. I'll work my hardest to be the best dragon I can be. Please take a moment to reflect silently on our day, our activities, and what we hope to accomplish. Another responsibility that we have, responsible is doing your job with a smile on your face and giving perfect effort, is to help keep each other safe by slowing down the spread of germs. We can do this by frequently washing our hands. When we wash our hands, we want to use soap and water. That's the best thing to do, but you can always use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer if you can't get to soap and water. Soap and water is better. We want to make sure that we're washing all parts of our hands, the palms of our hands, the back of our hands, our fingertips in between our fingers, our wrists and our thumb. When we wash our hands, we want to make sure that we're doing it for at least 20 seconds. Let's model what that looks like now. Get yourself some hand sanitizer or soap and water. Get the palms of your hands, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get the back of your hand, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get the back of the other hand, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get in between your fingers, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get your fingertips, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get your other fingertip, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get your thumb, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get your other thumb, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get your wrist, 2, 3, 4, 5. And your other wrist, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now your hands should be nice and clean. Now that we have done our pledges, we've done our moment of silence, we've washed our hands, let's go get ready to show respect for those that have birthdays today. Several birthdays today. Happy birthday to Kimberly Juarez Bazan, who is 10 years old. Happy birthday to Aubrey Guerin, who is 8 years old. Layla Burrow, who is 7 years old. Taylor Green, who's 6 years old. And Landon Workman. Happy birthday. Today, Landon is 11. We'll make sure that you guys get your birthday. Another responsibility that we have each morning is to make our lunch choice. Remember, responsible means doing your job with a smile on your face and giving perfect effort. Lunch choice today, new item on the lunch menu, pizza burger on a bun. I asked what it is. It's ground beef with tomato sauce and then cheese on top of it on the half of a burger, and it's all melted. Sounds pretty good. Sweet potato waffle fries, haven't had those in a while. Green beans, strawberry cup, and the smart cookies. So make your lunch choice now. If you don't want the pizza burger on a bun, you can always get PB&J or yogurt and muffin. All right, I know that we're getting ready to take the MAP test coming up, and you guys have been working on goal of improvement, trying to get better than you did the last time you took the MAP, and that's what we want to do. Another goal that we have as a school is to increase our vocabulary. And that's why we do the picture of the week. Here's our picture of the week. You guys saw this yesterday, so you're seeing it again. Today we are looking for nouns. We're looking for persons, places, things. Don't just look in the front where you see, the front. Look in the background, see what you see. Help us find persons, places, things that you can touch, things that you can see, things that you can feel. When you look at this picture, you can see lots of nouns. But don't just look in the front, look in the back and all those kind of things. Use this to create some great sentences or a story starter as we go. So here's the picture of the week, looking for nouns. Tomorrow we'll be looking for verbs, action words. All right, it's time for our message of the day. Today is on kindness, charity, and love. I have a question for you. Do you ever give to charity? You say, hey, I'm just a kid. I don't have anything to give. Wrong. How about cleaning out your closet and giving away some of your shoes or jeans or jackets that you've outgrown to someone who needs them? How about simply being charitable in the way that you treat others, like being generous with your smiles or your hugs, or giving away a few words of kindness? Someone wise once said, charity is never lost. It ever does a work of beauty and grace upon the heart of the giver. So in other words, you don't lose anything when you're charitable. Instead, you gain a bigger heart and a greater sense of love for yourself and for others. But something to think about on Mr. Butcher Make Today. Your masterpiece or not, remember the choice is yours. And that's so true. You can be generous just by giving out a smile, a wave, a high fist bump, just by doing your job. You can be generous just by doing your part and making our day a better day by doing our part. All right, we're still not having the mask mandate, so it's not required that you wear a mask, but there are some times that you do have to wear a mask, like when you get on the bus, and when you ride the bus, you have to wear a mask, or if you are quarantining at school because of a COVID exposure, or just because you want to wear your mask. So if you're going to wear your mask, or it's time for you to wear your mask, you want to make sure you're wearing it right. So let's make sure we're putting it on over our nose and over our mouth. Make sure it's tight around your ears so it doesn't fall down. You guys have a great day. That is all we have for announcements, so please help me.
Me and your teachers keep you safe. That is our job.
And your job is to help us keep you safe.
And you can help us by being a ready, respectful, and responsible student who is focused on graduating in the year.
Because when you are a ready, respectful, and responsible student focused on graduation, you are fully committed to student success. I love you very much. Have a great day. Today is Schmelf, the Hanukkah Elf. The author is Greg Wolf. That means Greg Wolf wrote the words. The illustrator is Howard McWilliam. That means Howard McWilliams drew the pictures because that's what an illustrator does. We do read aloud so that we can increase our vocabulary, expose you to different words. We do read aloud so that you guys can so I can model for you what good readers do. Read fluently, read the words correctly at a good pace, not too fast, not too slow, and with expression, and correct the words when you mess them up. And also, too, it gives you the opportunity to practice what good readers do when they're listening, when they're reading a fiction book. This is not a real book. This is a fiction book. Listen for the characters, who or what the story's about, the setting, where and when the story's taking place, the sequence of events, what happens first, next, last. Also, too, look for those details. Ask yourself questions. Why did this happen? What happened? Where did it happen? Ask yourself those questions. Schmelf, the Hanukkah Elf. We are in the middle of Hanukkah. We're on day 3 of Hanukkah. Schmelf, the Hanukkah Elf. You guys have probably seen Elf on the Shelf. Well, this is someone that might be very similar. So here we go. Schmelf, the Hanukkah Elf. Up at the North Pole, covered in snow, you'll find Santa's workshop, as most of you know. But no one can do all the work themselves, so helping him out is his army of elves. I love books that rhyme. Makes them easy to read. The most unsung elves of those who assist are the elves in charge of checking the list. They all worked so hard, down to the last elf, and the newest of them was a fellow named Schmelf. Schmelf didn't spend time playing merry elf games, but sat in a cubicle staring at names. His job was to check through Santa's list twice to see whether kids had been naughty or nice. Schmelf loved what he did, but as Christmas drew near, he looked at his list and he cried out, "Oh dear!" He found many children who had been quite good, but would not receive presents, though it seemed they should. He ran like a flash to see the head elf, who smiled and said, Now, calm yourself, Schmelf. Of course you don't know, since you're still quite newish, but the kids on this list are actually Jewish. They don't celebrate Christmas, but that's fine, you see. They celebrate Hanukkah, their own Jubilee. It won't be dear Santa who brings them a gift, but their mommies and daddies. Do you get my drift? Schmelf returned to his desk, his mind quite shaken. Kids with no Christmas? He must be mistaken. So later that night, careful not to be missed, he snuck off to visit a house on the list. Schmelf peered in and wondered, could this be right? There wasn't a tree or a stocking in sight. Instead, he saw menorahs with candles so thin, and children were giving their dreidels a spin. There was gelt, chocolate coins, wrapped up in gold foil, and latkes frying in pans filled with oil. Then Schmelf saw there were presents, one for each night. The elfish eyes gleamed, and he squealed with delight. Schmelf listened as Mom told the Hanukkah story of the Maccabees' battle for Israel's glory. We read that story yesterday. And though the brave soldiers won their great fight, their temple had oil just for one more night. But once they'd set the oil ablaze, a miracle happened. It lasted, that's right, 8 days. Hey now, I get it, Schmelf said with a grin. Hanukkah's awesome. I'm totally in. Well, we read about 8 days. Oil lasted. He raced back north and went straight to the boss, the big man himself, good old Santa Claus. Schmelf explained his discovery, this holiday grand, and when he was done, Santa held up his hands. Good Schmelf, chuckled Santa, it fills me with joy to see how you care for Jewish girls and boys. It shows me that you are much more than a clerk, and so I will task you with this special work. Hanukkah is a time for family and song, for joy and tradition. It's where you belong. I've decided at Hanukkah you'll travel the world, bringing magic and joy to each boy and each girl. Santa gave Schmelf clothes of white and of blue, the colors of Hanukkah. That much Schmelf knew. In a sleigh that could soar straight through the air with a Jewish reindeer named of Asher. Now, you good Jewish kids, for 8 days each December, Schmelf will come visit, some years in November. He'll make sure your latkes are crispy and thin, your menorahs burn brighter, and your dreidels win. If there's one special gift that you'd like this year, tell Schmelf. He'll whisper it in Mom and Dad's ear. He'll do what he can to nudge them that way in hopes that the presents bring cheers of hooray! To reward Schmelf and Asher for all their goodwill, you can leave out some gelt and a nice kosher dill. What a magical Hanukkah, you'll think to yourself. See you next year, Schmelf, the Hanukkah Elf. And that was Schmelf, the Hanukkah Elf.